Am I really that much? And breaking these niggas down like a camel. You don't really know you are.
Hey y'all, we back with another video, and it's the viral wet top corset look. Let's get into it. Okay, so this is my first time trying this look. Because I wanted the boobs to be a little larger than my mannequin, I added some cups, and I'm gonna add some filling. I had this bag, cut it up, and I'm just gonna stuff the bra to the size that I want it to be. So this is something that you can do if your mannequin has smaller bust area. Next thing you'll do is you're gonna wrap your mannequin with saran wrap. This is gonna protect your mannequin from getting messed up. This dress form is actually really expensive, so I do not want to mess her up. So you're going to wrap her up until she is fully covered. And then because we've added the cups, I'm going to add a little bit of some fabric to push it up, so to give it like that actual chest, because if not, it's going to sink in, especially when we add the resin. The resin is a little bit more heavy, so we don't want it to sink. We want it to have like a nice shape of actual breast. So here I brought these 16-ounce resin mix. So here's what I did learn. Depending on how heavy your fabric is, I did use a mesh fabric for this project. So I actually could have used half the bottle and used this for actually 2 projects. So just keep that in mind when you order and when you decide to do your own project, that those bottles, you can actually get 2 projects out of it. So I'm using this black mesh fabric. You also want to make sure that you cover your floors. You don't want this stuff to get on your floors. It's really hard to get off. And then what I'm doing here is just measuring where I want my fabric to be. Now, one mistake that I did do was adding this painter's tape on top of the plastic. Do not do this. I thought that it would be easier to take off because it's painter tape. It was actually so hard to take off. So do not do this. Just use the saran wrap. So here we're gonna mix the product. You're gonna mix equal parts of A and B. So again, remember, you can actually use half the bottle. I ended up using the entire bottle, and I had so much product left over. So just be mindful of this, so you're not wasting product, and you get the most out of your buy. So what you'll do is you'll mix equal parts of A and B, and then you're gonna mix it really, 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 really well until all the bubbles are gone. So this is me trying to get the most out of the product, not realizing that I didn't even need the entire bottle. But it's a learning experience. I'm learning it so that you guys can learn from my mistakes, and do better than me next time. But yeah, so here we are. I'm just pouring the entire resin, and this is the B. Make sure you are wearing gloves, and make sure you're using a bowl, and something to mix it with that you're not going to miss or need again. Like, now I'm looking at this and like, I really did not need all this. I guess I was just excited to get it done, but like, I did not need all that. Like, look at that. That's so crazy. Look, I'm putting my finger in there trying to get every drip drop out of it, and I did not even need all that. Anyways, yeah, now you're gonna mix it really, really good. As you can see, it's like mixing, like you can tell the difference of how it's coming together versus what it looked like when it was separate. So make sure you mix it really, really well, and also know that you kind of have to use this quickly before it starts to harden, because it will start to harden, and you don't want that to happen, because then it's going to be really hard for you to move the fabric and position it in a way that you want it to stay. So Mix it really, really, really well. And then once you're done mixing, you're going to take it onto your station where you have your fabric and your body form. Okay, so we're back at the body form, and I was trying to figure out what was the best way to do it. I've seen some people pour the resin on top. I've seen some people dip in the fabric, so I decided to dip in the fabric. Now, another thing. This kind of fabric, I should have double layered it so that it's a little thicker when I actually take the corset off. I found that especially around the edges, you want to make sure you add an extra layer of fabric if your fabric is thin. If you plan on adding grommets to your top to give it like that corset lace back, make sure you add an extra layer on the sides of fabric to sustain and hold those grommets, because they are metal and they're a little heavier and thicker. So as you can see, I dipped the fabric inside of the resin. And can you see how much resin I have left? Like, I'm not using that again. Like, that could have been for another project. So the fabric was a little long, so here I'm just cutting it. And what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to like play around with the shape. So the lines that I made earlier in the video, that was just like a guideline to tell me where to push the fabric at minimum, where I want the fabric to be and the kind of shape I want it to have. So you're gonna have to play around with it to get the kind of shape and ripples that you want. I did let her dry for 2 days, just FYI. This project was so fun. I can't wait to create more and see what you guys create. Bye, guys.